For almost 4 years, I was the quiet guy in the corner of the room, the one people talked over, talked around, sometimes talked about, but never really talked to. I worked maintenance and night logistics at a glass and steel corporate tower in San Mateo, California, the kind of building where people wear confidence like a tailored suit and assume everyone else is part of the furniture. I fixed broken doors, replaced light panels, cleaned up after late board meetings, and listened. God, did I listen? That's the part no one ever expects. The listening. Because when people think you're invisible, they say everything out loud. They complain about partners, brag about deals, panic about mistakes. They say things they'd never say if they thought you mattered. And for a long time I let them believe exactly that. Until one afternoon, when a $900 million deal started collapsing in real time, and the only person in the room who actually understood what was going wrong was the guy they'd been ignoring for years. The man at the center of all this was Carter Vaughn, CEO of a fast-growing energy tech firm called Helios North. Public Image Private Jets magazine covers the whole thing. To him, I was maintenance, not even by name. Just, hey, can you clean that up or don't touch that, it's expensive. The day everything changed, he was pacing his office like a trapped animal, suit jacket off tie, loosened phone glued to his ear. The video wall behind him showed red arrows and breaking news headlines, and every few seconds another call dropped. I was there replacing a faulty network panel when he snapped, "You're distracting me. Just finish up and get out." I nodded like I always did, but my hands had already gone still. Because the language coming through his speakerphone wasn't English, it was Korean. Fast, formal, and tense. And I knew exactly why the voice on the other end sounded angry. Carter slammed his phone down and muttered, "They're backing out. They think we misled them." Then, louder to no one in particular, "Where the hell is my interpreter?" He made another call, then another. Nothing. The partner delegation from Seoul was landing in less than an hour, and without that deal, Helios North was finished. Layoffs, lawsuits. The whole collapse. I stood there holding my toolkit, heart pounding, knowing I had a choice. Walk out like I was told. Or speak. When you've been underestimated long enough, you learn exactly how heavy your words feel before you say them. I cleared my throat. "Sir," I said quietly, "they're not upset about the numbers." He spun around like I'd insulted him. "I didn't ask for your opinion." I met his eyes anyway. "They're upset about the tone. Your legal draft used informal hierarchy language. In Korean business culture that reads as disrespect." The room went dead quiet. Carter stared at me, then laughed, once sharp and humorless. "You're telling me my billion-dollar deal is failing because of tone?" I nodded. "And because you address the subsidiary first, not the family board." His smile disappeared. "How would you know that I took a breath?" "Because I negotiated energy infrastructure contracts in East Asia for 12 years, before I fixed doors." The phone on his desk started ringing again. Caller ID showed the Korean partner company. He looked at it, then at me. "If you're wrong..." I didn't let him finish. "Put it on speaker." He hesitated, then tapped the screen. The room filled with rapid Korean, sharp and offended. I stepped closer. "May I asked?" He swallowed and nodded. The moment I spoke, the temperature changed. Not just translation, but calibration. Apology without weakness. Respect without submission. I addressed the elder board member, first referenced their company's founding history, acknowledged the oversight without blaming anyone. Carter watched like he was seeing a magic trick. 10 minutes later, the anger on the other end softened. By the time I ended the call, they weren't canceling. They were coming to the office. Carter sank into his chair, stunned. "Who the hell are you?" he asked quietly. "Someone who needed a job 4 years ago," I said, "and someone who still believes words matter." On the drive to headquarters, he finally asked. I told him the truth. Master's degree in International Engineering Policy. Fluent in 5 languages. Former government contractor until my department was cut. Student loans, a sick father, no safety net. I applied everywhere. Too experienced. Too old. too inconvenient. So I took the only job that paid fast. Fixed pipes, cleaned floors, listened. By the time we reached the building, his shame was palpable, thick in the car like humidity. But there was no time to dwell. The boardroom was already filling up with executives who took one look at me and assumed I was lost. During the meeting, the Korean delegation raised concerns about intellectual property, long-term governance, cultural alignment. Every time Carter hesitated, I stepped in. Not over him, but with him. Clarifying nuance, preventing offense, turning potential landmines into bridges. At one point, one of their engineers challenged a patent clause in Mandarin-accented English. I answered in fluent Mandarin, explaining the framework better than Helios North's own legal team ever had. The room shifted. Eyebrows raised. Pens stopped moving. Respect, real respect, finally entered the space. 3 hours later, the deal was signed. Not salvaged. Strengthened. The Korean chairwoman stood bowed slightly toward me and said in English, "We do business with people who understand us." Carter announced my promotion on the spot. Director of International Strategy. Stock options, public acknowledgement. Applause filled the room. But here's the part that still makes people uncomfortable. Some executives wouldn't look at me. Others congratulated Carter, not me. Recognition doesn't erase bias overnight. It just exposes it. That night, Carter apologized. Not the corporate kind. The real kind. "I decided who you were without asking," he said. I nodded. Most people do. A year later, Helios North launched an internal audit of hidden talent. They found lawyers in customer service, engineers in shipping, a former diplomat answering phones. Promotions followed. Policies changed. But not everywhere, not fast enough. So here's where I leave it with you. Think about the last person you dismissed because of a uniform, a job title, an accent. Think about what you might have missed. Was Carter wrong? Absolutely. Did I wait too long to speak? Maybe. That's the debate. That's the discomfort. And that's why I want you to comment. Who was right? Who was wrong? And how many people like me are still waiting in the corner of the room listening while the world decides they don't matter?